Amendments to the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Amendments 1 through 10. Amendment 1, Freedoms of Religion, Speech, Press, Assembly, and Petition. The First Amendment protects 5 basic rights: freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. Congress cannot set up an established or official church or religion for the nation. Congress may not abridge or limit the freedom to speak and write freely. The government may not censor or review books and newspapers before they are printed. The right to assemble or hold public meetings is also protected. Petition means to ask. Grievances are wrongs. The people have the right to petition the government for grievances to be corrected. Amendment 2, Right to bear arms. Police officers and National Guard have the right to carry weapons. Courts have ruled that the government can regulate ownership of guns by private citizens. Citizens are required to have a gun license, gun registration, and a background check during a 3-day waiting period. Amendment 3, Lodging troops in private homes. During the colonial period, the British quartered or housed soldiers in private homes without the owner's permission. This amendment limits the government's rights to use private homes to house soldiers. Amendment 4, Search and Seizure. The amendment protects Americans from unreasonable search and seizure. It protects a person's home, papers, person, and personal effects. A legal search and seizure is permitted if a judge has issued a warrant or written court order allowing a search to be conducted. A warrant is issued only if there is probable cause. This means an officer must show that it is probable or likely that the search will produce evidence of a crime. A search warrant must name the exact place to be searched and the exact things to be seized. In some cases, courts have ruled that searches can take place without a warrant. For example, police may search a person who has given permission to do so, or if a person is under arrest. Police may also search without a warrant in a life or death situation. However, evidence found during an unlawful search cannot be used in trial. Amendment 5, Rights of the Accused. A person accused of a crime is entitled to due process of law or a fair hearing or trial. The federal government must obtain an indictment or formal accusation from a grand jury to prosecute anyone for a crime. A grand jury is a panel of 12 to 23 citizens who decide if the government has enough evidence to justify a trial. This procedure prevents the government from prosecuting with little or no evidence of guilt. Double jeopardy is forbidden by this amendment. This means that a person cannot be tried twice for the same crime. However, if a court sets aside a conviction because of a legal error, the accused can be tried again. A person on trial cannot be forced to testify or give evidence against him or herself. Finally, the government has eminent domain. Eminent domain says the government can seize private property for public use, but they must pay a fair price for it. Amendment 6, Right to a speedy trial by jury. The accused is guaranteed the right to a trial by jury. The jury must be impartial or not favor either side. The trial must be speedy. In other words, the trial must take place within a reasonable amount of time. If the government purposely postpones the trial so that it becomes hard for the person to get a fair hearing, the charge may be dismissed. The accused must be told the charges against him or her and be allowed to question a prosecution witness. Witnesses who can help the accused can be served with a subpoena, a court document ordering a person to appear and testify at the trial. The accused must be allowed a lawyer. Since 1942, the federal government has been required to provide a lawyer if the accused cannot afford one. Since 1963, states have been required to do the same. Amendment 7, Jury trial in civil cases. This amendment guarantees the right to a jury trial in lawsuits between citizens where the sum of money at stake is more than $20. An appeals court cannot change a verdict because it disagrees with the decision of the jury. It can set aside a verdict only if legal errors made the trial unfair. The right to a trial jury in civil cases can be waived if both parties agree. The parties would then appear before a judge only. Amendment 8, Bail and Punishment. Bail is the money the accused leaves with the court as a pledge that he or she will appear for trial. If the accused does not appear for trial, the court keeps the money. Excessive means too high. This amendment forbids courts to set unreasonably high bail. The amount of bail usually depends on the seriousness of the charge and whether the accused is likely to appear for the trial. The amendment also forbids the use of cruel and unusual punishments, such as mental and physical abuse. Amendment 9. Powers reserved to the people. The people have rights that are not listed in the Constitution. This amendment was added because some people feared that the Bill of Rights would be used to limit rights to those actually listed. Amendment 10. Powers reserved to the states. Powers not given to the federal government belong to the states and the people. This amendment limits the power of the federal government. The powers reserved to the states are not listed in the Constitution.